Hey, Happy New Year. Wishing you nothing but the best for this 2024. So today I wanted to kind of take the time and sit down to make drum breaks. One thing that I've kind of always not necessarily neglect but put aside was kind of taking care of my own library. Either taking like samples and old stuff from like old projects, or even kind of making my own little drums. Often I kind of stay and make something from scratch always. But today, wanted to kind of slow down and take the time to make some drum breaks. Alright, so right here, as you can see, I have the SP. I wanted to kind of start with making some sort of a hip hop drum break. I mean, in this case, I think I will mostly do hip hop stuff. So right here, I have a few drums, and the idea is to kind of make something a little bit slowish, eventually processed and unprocessed in a sense. On the SP, I don't have anything on my buses, but eventually kind of seeing how to process and things like that, I'll maybe run it through the Monotron, the KP3, you know, the Zoom, kind of seeing how I would eventually process it. But first, let's try to put something together. I would say it's a little bit weird to just kind of make the drums. Even though usually I also do kind of start in different ways, I always never really like just think of making drums. Usually I have like a little melodies or like samples that I want to chop in mind. But it's a little bit strange to kind of just start with the drums. I don't know, how do you start making your beats? Do you start with like the sample, the melody, the drums? It's a little bit weird, but I think something like this is kind of cool. So I usually make my my beats around 75, 70-ish to 90. Especially when it comes to like hip hop stuff. If it comes to like more of a trap thing, then I'm kind of going on to like 130. But for a hip hop, my most used BPM is like 70, 90. So in this one, I think let's do 90. The snare is a little bit loud, so let's try to delete that. And I'm going to the 16 velocity thing. I think I have a good foundation. That's a pretty nice drum, I think. Kind of mellow-ish. Let me add the compressor and things. Let's try to see if I can play something. Maybe that will give a little bit of idea what I'm trying to go. I think that's good. That's good. I think I'm trying to leave the drum break as wide as I can, because eventually when I'm going to make a beat or like adding stuff on top of it, I want my drum break to kind of be an open canvas, you know? So like this is where everything is eventually going to start. And while I'm listening, I'm trying to kind of drop different things to see, but it sounds alright. You got the snare, and then when I'm trying to kind of accelerate or move to a different kind of rhythm, I can add this snare, right? So I think this is a cool little drum to kind of add a little bit of something, but I think we can leave it at this for now. Something to add at the end, maybe if I'm going to turn this into 4 bar, is perhaps a kind of a drum fill. But from the little test, you can see it kind of fits with different samples. So yes, this seems like a little nice drum break. I can eventually continue on this. What if I add some sort of warm saturation? But I like this. This is what I'm talking about when I say processing the drums. I like this as there is a little bit of element of repetitiveness in it. Let me try to do another one, but I guess this time let's do it inside of Logic because I want to chop some stuff. As far as the SP44, I think that's it. This is one drum break that I would like to continue on if I have a sample, and then this can fit in something. But yes, let me try to do something in Logic. Alright, so I am in Logic. Let's see, eventually I'm trying to think of a sample maybe. Let me try to put up quick sampler, and then I have a kind of a few drum breaks here. Let me try to see if I can stitch something together. And that's already something. What is that? Is that 90? Now, one thing about this is that the snare seems to be the chops on the hi-hat. My bad, a hi-hat seems to be very strong. So let me maybe try to chop the hi-hats. I'm adding a little bit of EQ to have some sort of a control. Something like this. I had all of my stuff on my drum bus. I did a whole video about my Logic template. We'll leave it in the description. There is a strange echo in the kick. Let me adjust the release a little bit. The kick is a little hesitant because there is a gap here. So let's see. Let's try something. A guitar bass, perhaps. Yes, that's a pretty cool drum break. I like this. Let me see if I can put something else. Again, something very simple, I think. And that's another one. The snare seems to go too much onto the kick. This is alright, I guess. Let me try to do one last drum break. Now I like that snare from that sample, so I think I would take the snare, just the snare. This sounds alright. Everything is kind of a little bit quantized. Yeah, this seems to be a kind of a very straightforward break. Let me try something. All right. I think this is a good one. Logic kind of froze in the middle of the whole thing. So yes, I hope this was useful. One take for me would be that sometimes when I sit and then try to make something, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a beat. You know, sometimes it's kind of like working on these little crafts, like little drums, taking samples from old projects and these sort of things. It doesn't necessarily like I need to sit and then make like a beat, drum melody and basses and things like this. So this was me slowing down, making drum breaks. So yes, thank you for watching. Happy New Year again, and I'll catch you on the next one.